All right, ready? Welcome back to the Deep Dig Sports Pod. I'm your host, Drew. My other host, right over there.
What's up? It's Dee. Good to see you again. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Drop some comments below. Let us know your thoughts.
Today, we are talking breaking news. Micah Parsons, formerly of the Dallas Cowboys, has now been traded to the Green Bay Packers. Right off the rip, do you think this is the dumbest move that Jerry Jones has ever made? Or do you think, okay, they got 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. Can they salvage something in Dallas from this deal?
Jerry Jones is a man who fought against civil rights, so I don't think this is the dumbest moves that he's ever made. Uh, uh, Football speaking, this might be one of the dumbest moves that he's ever made. I think he got used to playing with fire when it comes to these big NFL contracts, and that he felt like, okay, you know what, at the end of this, I'm gonna sign them for whatever price tag they want, and I'm gonna treat them disrespectfully throughout these contracts, but eventually I'm just gonna give in, and we're gonna kind of just do the thing and move forward with our day. And he pushed it too far with Micah Parsons this time. uh, I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago, and I was saying like the Micah Parsons situation and the Terry McLaurin situation were night and day. Whereas Micah was saying that he was on board, wanted to stay there until he didn't, until he felt too disrespected, until he felt like, hey, I'm not getting where I need to be. I'm not being taken seriously as a person, and I'm just done with this organization. Whereas Terry McLaurin, it felt like, I just want more money. Can you guys just pay me more? Like I don't, I want to be here, but just pay me more. And with Micah, it felt like I'm personally, I am done. His statement on Twitter was, I am done with this franchise. I grew up a Cowboys fan, but this is it for me. They pushed me too far and I'm done. And I just don't think that they ever were able to recover that relationship.
And I think to the Cowboys fans who are going to defend Jerry and say, oh, well, he offered him a giant contract and Micah turned it down. This agent of Micah does this all the time where it drags it out and tries to get more money. Micah's agent was not getting any contact from the Cowboys. The only way this deal was going to get done was for the Cowboys and the agent to sit down and have a meeting. And then you had Jerry Jones going on personal attacks of Micah's character and then coming on saying that uh, I don't know who's true in this, but I would assume this is a lie that the agent told Jerry Jones that he could shove the deal up his ass. And so Jerry Jones made this very public. He made how he felt about Micah very public. And I think it was just disrespectful enough for Micah to say, you know what, I'm not gonna come back and do this song and dance with you, Jerry. You know what I deserve to be paid. Contact my agent. And Jerry just did not have the awareness to think, okay, we lost this battle. Let's go pay him what we owe him.
Well, even then, I think to a certain extent, they were going to pay the money. Like after they realized Micah wasn't going to back down, they tried to double back, and I'm pretty sure that they would have paid that price tag.
Well,
When it comes down,
they had the option to negotiate with him before this trade went through, and they said no. They didn't even want to negotiate with him.
yeah, I think they knew realistically, like, hey, we're out. I don't think. I think even if they did pay it, I don't think Micah personally would have liked to have been there. You know what I mean? I think it would have been a tough situation, one that you can't really rebound from. So instead, Micah Parsons is now traded. I don't know if we said it. He got traded to the Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. We're going to talk about the Packers. I think we just want to wrap up this massive trade that is leaving Dallas devastated because Luka just happened a few months ago, and now the best player on your football team in Dallas is gone. The Cowboys, I think, are, where do you put them on poorly run franchises at this point? Yes, they are going to have the most amount of fans. Yes, they are going to print money. But as far as talking football, this has to be one of the most chaotic and poorly run organizations, just looking at the sport side of things.
I mean, it's got to be up there. I mean, it's not. It's
It's not
in
Cleveland.
Yeah, it's not Cleveland. It's not the New Orleans Saints. It's not the Cincinnati Bengals. So you have that going for you, that there are other worse organizations, but this is definitely a ball dropped. And I don't know, I did send you this that TikTok where they were talking about how Micah Parsons, before this trade even happened, had filed a grievance against the Dallas Cowboys organization because of the fifth-year option, and they classified him as a defensive end, where he himself has always classified himself as a linebacker. And with the defensive end fifth-year option, it was 21 million. With the linebacker option, it was 24 and a half, I believe. So he was already fighting with this team for what he was just even owed in his fifth-year option, and so much so that he would file a grievance against this organization. So I think the bonds were broken. I think that it was already completely beyond repair.
Yeah, a complete mishandling of the situation, much like the Dak Prescott contract, much like the CD Lamb contract. I'd have to look back at the Trevon Diggs, but he got paid. Jerry and Dallas have just not been able to negotiate well within a salary cap. And what the Eagles do better than everyone is paying players early, and then when you look back at their contracts, you're like, oh, actually, we got them on a deal because we paid them so early. And what the Dallas Cowboys do every time is wait until the price sets a new market high, and that's when they pay their players. And that's where the rest of the walls, where the rest of the roster falls through, is because you've invested so much money in your quarterback, you've invested so much in your top three players because you couldn't negotiate properly and finesse the salary cap. So this is just, I think, where it finally came back around to bite Jerry Jones, and he pushed it too far.
100%, he pushed it too far. I think the Dak Prescott contract and them doing that later rather than sooner and getting it at a better deal does set back the clock of everybody else. And it's just a domino effect that they really just haven't recovered from. And kudos to them for drafting really well and having these guys that you would pay top dollar for. But with that Dak contract being like, again, how you said they didn't do this sooner rather than later, because they did it later, they paid a top price and did it out of desperation. And that sets back the dominoes of everyone else falling in place.
And if they just paid Micah 2, 3, 4 months ago, they would have got him at a reasonable price. They would have looked and said, oh, actually, 4 or 5 edge rushers are getting paid more than him now because we set the bar, and they're paying more than that. And we don't have this whole media circus, and he's on the team for the next 4 years. But instead, Jerry tried to get cheap and say, oh, well, he'll play under the franchise tag for a season, and then we'll give him basically the same value that he's asking for now, but next year when really push comes to shove. But he really underestimated Micah's ability to not come be a part of the team.
But even then, it wasn't just oh, we have him under his fifth-year option, he's got to do what we say. The fact that he thought that this handshake deal that's not even part of, like, wouldn't be acknowledged by the CBA, like that was going to be in place, and that was going to be, felt over.
Delusional.
Yeah.
That's delusional that you're going to do a handshake deal with the highest non-paid quarterback in the league. That's crazy. And fans want to be on the Cowboys side and not Micah's side. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So they lose a one of the top. So it's quarterback, then it's guy who puts quarterback on his ass. That's top 2 position in this NFL. And you have one of the younger, one of the better guys in the entire league, and you fumble it. But I mean, kudos to the Green Bay Packers for swooping in on this.
Does Kenny Clark do anything for you on the Cowboys? Do you think, okay, they have 2 first-round picks now, they have Kenny Clark in there, I mean, how do you feel about the potential of this Cowboys team before we go to the Packers?
I mean, I didn't think they were going to be good with Micah Parsons, and now taking that away, like, okay, I think this year is going to be a tank. I think okay, you have 2 first-round picks, but nothing is going to, and it might just reset their books. It might just be enough to be like, hey, if we get the ability to draft top talent, we're resetting our books. We're kicking this down the can down the road for another 3 or 4 years. That's going to be fine with us. And maybe this is a good out of the ashes is going to be a phoenix, and we can rebuild the franchise from this. But I don't think that this year is going to be a good year for the Dallas Cowboys.
They have zero run game. I guess Javonte Williams is going to be their starter. They bring back a good, not great secondary. They bring back all the starters there. They lose Micah Parsons, replace him with a D tackle. I do not feel great about this Cowboys team. Yes, Dak and CD are going to be really explosive. That combination, I think Pickens will have his moments. But overall, I take the under now. Whatever their win total is, if you guys bet the over before this, it's cashing. The Packers, I feel like, just took a giant swing in a team that I thought maybe like an above average NFC team. I think for me becomes not the top contender, but one of maybe the 4 best teams in the NFC.
Oh, hands down. You look at what they did with Jordan Love, even last year being really banged up, and the ability that he showed. And Matt LaFleur, like, say what you want. Like, at first, I was thinking Matt LaFleur was an Aaron Rodgers merchant. And it's like, okay, yeah, he has all these wins, but because he's had a Hall of Fame quarterback, take that away, and what is he? It's like when you ask, when Captain America asked Iron Man, okay, if you take away this, what are you? And he's like, oh, a $1 million playboy philanthropist. And it's like, yeah, okay, that sounds pretty good. And take away all those things that Matt LaFleur had when he started his coaching career, and you look at what he's done with the guy that he's handpicked, it's been awesome. And now you're adding this piece to this defense. I think that you're right. They are one of the top contenders in this NFC moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, you take a team that's solid all around, and now you add one of the premier pass rushers. Of course, they're going to be one of the favorites. I I think the Lions take a huge step back this year with 2 new coordinators. I think the Vikings take a huge step back with second year quarterback in JJ McCarthy. You start looking around the room, the Niners need to prove that they're good still after the debacle last season that they put together. Like, where are really the stud teams other than the Eagles around the NFC? Can Jaden Daniels have can Jaden Daniels repeat an amazing year with the Commanders? I mean, I'm looking around the room, and the Packers seem like really one of the best options that I'm looking at in the NFC right now.
Okay, so I just looked it up. Before the Micah Parsons trade, Sportsbooks had the Super Bowl odds for the Packers at plus 2,000, and now it's jumped to plus 1,200. So a pretty big swing in odds when it comes to that. So, I mean, that's what, gambling and Vegas thinks of this Micah Parsons deal. And it is a really big deal when you look at it. You look at the landscape, and you're right. This NFC is going to be a lot of who is next up, who is going to be really taking charge of the NFC. Yeah, you have the Eagles, but behind them, there's still going to be a lot of jockeying for who falls next into that hierarchy. And there's a lot of change going on. There's a lot of parity in the NFC itself.
And in a season where LaFleur needs to show that this team has progressed, that this team has taken a step towards championship contenderness. So going all in like this, it's like, okay, yeah, I definitely see that now. I see where LaFleur is coming from. They need to not just win a playoff game, they need to try to make it to an NFC championship game at least, because LaFleur and Jordan Love have doubters, and they haven't put together a good enough resume to say we are both the future of this team. So I mean, I'm excited to see. I hate to say the sentence, but I'm excited to see the Packers play football this season.
Yeah, I mean, hand up.
For the Commanders,
I haven't been the biggest Jordan Love fan. I don't think that
me
he's
neither.
this the next great thing. I don't think that he is like some superstar talent, but adding this piece to the defense, it gives you so much more that you can do with it. It puts so much less pressure on Jordan Love to have to score like every single series that they have on offense, because you have a guy on the opposite side of the ball that is such a playmaker, such a game wrecker, that can create havoc and turnovers. It frees you up a little bit to be like a little bit looser on the other side.
Yeah, what makes your quarterback look way better when the opposing team's quarterback does not have time to throw the ball? That is a perfect way to uplift your quarterback. And yeah, you're right. He can conserve a little bit of himself. He doesn't have to try to go out there and throw a 70-yard touchdown every drive because they're behind or it's a close game. He can I think there's a relief now that LaFleur and Jordan Love can rely on that defense a little bit more now.
Yeah, and just feed Josh Jacobs.
Exactly.
Feed Josh Jacobs. Hey, we can grind it out. I think this is a Packers team now. When you look at it, they can sling the rock. You feel comfortable about them in a shootout, but you also feel comfortable in a like 13-10 slugfest. Now you feel pretty good about that.
Well, I'm all I'm seeing today is Packers fans thanking Jerry Jones, Cowboys fans, Dallas residents being very upset. So let us know in the comments how you feel about this trade. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
Cool.
Do we want to check that this is gonna save?
It's gonna save.
Yeah, because remember you said that it said 9 minutes.
No, I don't know why it was like. It's gonna save. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's still recording right now.
Okay.
All right, Jawan. I want to try to pull up the to confirm it. Yeah, it was Kawakami. Uh, what you hear not from the camp but from NFL circles is that it's high. It's above $20 million annually, is what I've heard, and maybe a lot above 20 a year to
God.
put him in the top 20 or so of receivers in that realm. The 49ers have done it before with Brandon Ayuk, so there's precedence for lifting a guy way up on the higher rankings of the receiver salaries. What I've heard from the 49ers side is that they don't want to do anything. They are negotiating. I think there have been numbers exchanged, but they just redid his deal last year. And that's before he got 975 yards in 2024.
Yeah, yesterday's price is not today's
Mhm.
price. Brandon Ayuk is out. I am listed as wide receiver 1.
Okay, let's go
I'm
into it.
not getting okay.
Welcome back to the Deep Dig Sports Pod. I'm your host, Drew. My other host right over here.
What's up? It's D. Good to see you again. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Drop some comments below. Let us know your thoughts.
Today we are talking Jawan Jennings and the 49ers. Jennings was the wide receiver 1 for the 49ers last year after multiple injuries. He comes into this season as the wide receiver number 1, and he's looking to get paid as so. A report from Tim Kawakami states that what he's hearing, not from the camp, but from NFL circles, is that the asking price is high. It's above $20 million annually and maybe a lot above 20 a year to put him in the top 20 or so of receivers. The 49ers, and then he goes on to say that the 49ers do not want to do anything. They just redid his contract last year, but it was before he went for 975 yards, and they've had multiple injuries at the wide receiver position. So, do you think that Juwan Jennings is asking too much of the 49ers here. Do you think that the 49ers should pay him more?
100%. I'm on Juwan Jennings' side. I think that yesterday's price is not today's price. I get like, hey, we signed a deal, but now I'm your wide receiver one. I'm going into the season yet again being a guy that you're going to have to depend on. And if I'm not even cracking the top 20 wide receivers in the entire league, that's a problem for me. I'm not going to go ahead and do that. If you want to go ahead and roll out Sky Moore and Ricky Pearsall, go ahead and do that, but that's not my prerogative.
Yeah, Kawakami also states that the calf injury, quote unquote, that Juwan Jennings is dealing with could be related to his contract. And if he got a new contract, I I'm not accusing him of anything, but he'll probably roll out there healthy, um, ready to go play. But I think Juwan Jennings is completely in the right here. He actually he's an older player, didn't make a lot of money before this new contract he got last season. And guess what? Brandon Ayuk is not coming until possibly week 6. Deebo Samuel is gone. Ricky Pearsall, I mean, he showed some flashes in preseason, but he's not our number one guy right now. Juwan Jennings has been reliable for a few seasons now for the 49ers. And last year when he got his opportunity, he looked amazing. He is a wide receiver one for us. No matter what the 49ers want to call him, he's our best wide receiver. He's the 49ers best wide receiver, and he deserves to be paid as so. I think it's really smart from Juwan on his end to say, look, the 49ers do not have weapons right now at the wide receiver position. They are desperate for a receiver. I am your best option. I don't know if I'm going to get paid again after this because of my age, because I don't know about the opportunities I'm going to get when Brandon Ayuk comes back. This is my best bet to make a lot of money. So I think I deserve a pay raise.
Yeah, and it's fair. Again, for what I am, which for you, Kyle Shanahan, I am your wide receiver one this year. I'm going to be your wide receiver one this year. And we've already seen Brandon Ayuk, if he sits out some games or he misses some practices here, he just wasn't effective last year until then he ended up getting hurt. I don't I don't have a problem with him sitting out. I think I have more of a problem of the 49ers hesitancy to pay this guy who has paid his dues. And I understand the thought process of, well, we just paid him last year. I get it, but you paid me wide receiver 3 money. I'm wide receiver 1 for you right now. Pay me wide receiver. If I'm not even cracking the top 20, what am I doing here being your wide receiver 1 in
Yeah.
this offense that you need me for?
And if the concern is, oh, well, we can't pay 2 wide receiver ones, I'd much rather pay Juwan Jennings and get rid of Brandon Ayuk at this point. Like, you're right, he wasn't good when he was healthy last year. He's coming off an injury, and I thought he was going to be ready week 1, but he's already going to miss a large chunk of this season. So I feel like moving off Brandon Ayuk and just investing in a guy in Juwan Jennings who has been very reliable and has a lot of chemistry with Brock Purdy. They call this guy Third and Jawan. Third and Jawan, you know the ball's going to him and he's going to get the first down every time. He's too reliable. You have a deficit of talent at the wide receiver position. What are you going to do if Juwan Jennings does not play for you for the first 4 weeks?
And this is a guy who does embody the culture. I mean, he is a huge culture ad when he's on the field. He has no problems getting his hands dirty and blocking. He has no problems picking up for his guys and actually getting into a couple scraps here and there. And then when he does get his hands on the ball, he always makes the most of it. He is a guy that embraces contact. I believe him and George Kittle are both like 2 heartbeats of this 49ers offense. And I don't see this receiving core just built as is being super impactful for Brock Purdy.
Actually, I think this is a situation where Juwan Jennings might benefit from sitting a game and seeing, okay, 49ers, what are you going to do without me? What are you going to look like? You're going to roll out Sky Moore and who else? Ricky Pearsall, Demarcus Robinson is going to be suspended. Who are you going to roll out and try to get a win with at the wide receiver position. That might help grease the wheels a little bit and say, like, okay, let's just get Juwan paid. We need a weapon out there for Brock Purdy.
And even then, if you really didn't think that you were going to be able to get this deal done and you were like 100%, we're not going to pay you, Juwan, there was other guys available. You could have went out and got Amari Cooper. You could have traded for one of these other guys that, okay, but instead you went and you bargain shopped again and you got Sky Moore. There was other guys to be had out there that are that are wide receivers that were on the trade market or free agents that you could have went out and got way earlier than this. I think eventually they are going to cave. I don't think they're going to meet well over 20, but I think they're going to meet, 22. I think they're going to meet 23. I think that they are going to eventually give into this. You have to.
Yeah, I think it's honestly for me, it's the 49ers need Juwan way more than Juwan needs the 49ers. They can trade him today and he can go to another team and he'll just play for the contract that he has. Like, okay, I'll go just play because I'm not being asked to take the workload that I'm being asked to take in San Francisco. So I think that's where this unbalance of pay, and if your job is asking you to do overtime every week, but you're on salary, guess what? I'm not going to want to do overtime. I'm going to do the job that I'm asked to do, but I'm not going to put in that extra effort. You're trying to overwork me. You got to pay me more to get that effort out. So I see where Juwan's coming from.
Yeah, and for all the, bootlickers that love billionaires, this isn't your money, bro. Calm down. Relax. Like, oh, well, he gets paid to play a game and blah, blah, blah. He already signed his contract. Yeah, well, you know what? Now he's worth more. He is worth more to this team now than he was last year. Okay, and I want that reflected. I want that reflected in my paycheck if I'm Juwan Jennings. And
Yeah.
I think we can all agree that's something that we would all want.
If you're the bus boy and they ask you to manage the restaurant for the same pay, are you going to do it?
Exactly.
So, yeah, pay the man. All you got for this one?
That's all I got.
Please
pay the man.
Let us know what you think in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
See ya.